that it plays a very major role in us having good governance. I'm happy that INEC, that is like a watchdog to political parties, have come up to raise the red flag and said that some parties have not been able to organize their congresses to have delegates, and they're not prepared to have primaries.
18 of them.
Exactly. This is like a red flag lifting, coming out to raise the alarm. The much earlier these parties come up and address the issues, better for the politics. Now let us go back to another issue that is also bedeviling the process. This issue that I have said severally is this issue of zoning. I don't think that it's going to be the best for Nigerians to practice the zoning system. I was having an unofficial discussion with you, and we're discussing about the presidency. Some are saying it is zoned to this area, zoned to area B, area C. I have a different view entirely. I have maintained that we should have power sharing. Power sharing in the sense that you look at how to stabilize the polity. When that is done, you will ensure that every stakeholder, every region, every part of every state has a reflection, has a reflection of what is at the center. Now let's narrow it down to states like Akwa Ibom State, for instance. You cannot be talking about zoning. I can agree that for the sake of fairness and equity, that power can shift from one area to the other, but the language zoning is completely averse to development. Averse to development in the sense that it will not allow the best person to emerge in the process of adopting this zone A will take this, zone B will take this, and some persons are even coming up with another argument of micro zoning. When you now zone to a particular zone, the areas that are deprived will say microzone that office to my own area, and before you know it, you will now zone to clan, you now zone to family. You can now be zoning to individual. Let's look at, for example, Mbadeni. I mentioned this because I am from there.
Yes.
Where the Commissioner for Works and Fire Service is championing zoning in Mbadeni. And I have called him out separately, and I said, you are a leader. By virtue of being in the State Executive Council, you are the chairman of the Maintain Peace movement in Mbadeni. As it stands now, if Professor Enaibana calls a meeting of Maintain Peace movement, his secretary of the body, Mr. Inyel Bogokban, will not attend. The commissioner for the House member who is contesting the House of Assembly seat would attend. The party officer who is in the state level, Mr. Von Kanchun, will not attend. And then the party chairman, the council chairman would attend. The PDP chairman will not attend because of this argument that the commissioner has raised up, and it has hit up the polity in Mbadeni called zoning. I believe that every clan in Mbadeni that we have 4 should be allowed to go out there to test their popularity. Let the best person pick the office. But when you begin to microzone to individual, microzone to a clan, you have made politics become so petty that you can now say, because you are in government, you control the government apparatus, you control government instrument, you now begin to use that instrument to champion a clannish cause as against the cause of Mbadeni. That aside, it goes the same way to other local government areas. You have the same argument in Mbo, you have the same argument in Ikono, you have almost everywhere. And my argument is that legislative office is not an executive office. It needs experience, it needs continuity, it needs stability. If you don't allow somebody to go and become a ranking member, how then would the person become a speaker? How then would the person become a house leader, a chief whip? It is only those who are ranking. If you say somebody should just go for 4 years and return back, the area will be losing so much in the area of benefit and good and quality laws. Look at, for example, in 2023, I have said this in a sister program.
Yes.
Our state will be losing out at the federal level greatly because the 3 senators that we currently have are not going back. We are going to have 3 new senators. The 10 federal House members, out of the 10 of them, only 3 are most likely going to return. The 7 of them are not going back. Now, when it is time to discuss issues that concerns the states, can these 3 new federal House members, these 3 returning federal House members, be able to outweigh or champion opinion or champion a cause that will better the welfare of the state? My answer is no. Will the 3 new senators who will be learning the ropes of how to be a senator in the next 3 years or so before you now begin to have a voice on the floor of the plenary, be able to champion the cause that will better the state affairs? My answer is no. Come to the state level, you have 26 House of Assembly members. Out of these 26, only a few are most likely going to return, and the rest of them that are not returning is because of zoning issues that the party or the clan or the government officials have used to twist them from going back there to make quality laws. Now, how then will you have good laws? You will only end up having people who are tied to the prospering of the state government, who are tied to the prospering of what the state will want. But when you have people who are experienced, who are exposed, who know what it takes to be a lawmaker, you expect better laws and effective execution at the level of the House of Assembly. So my advocacy is very clear and simple, that we should not use zoning to deny the state the needed development that we would have achieved and derived from legislation and legislative assemblies.
But Utwekong, let us look at that level of preparedness, because for me, some persons are uncertain about what they want. I mean, come to think about it, I'm sure you heard this.